Hi everyone, welcome to my review of the Weitz brothers' American Pie in 1999. So this is, American Pie, of course, a very famous film. I actually watched this a few days ago and I forgot to review it. And yes, I won't be reviewing actually Mission Impossible until probably Sunday or Monday. The next one, because I'm not watching that until then, Ghost Protocol. But yes, I thought I'd review these films. I watched 1 and 2 the other day. And I'll probably review as well American Wedding and The Reunion at some point. Not the others, because they're awful and they're not really part of the actual main series. But yes, the first American Pie film, of course, is probably the best of all of them. I'll have to see. I might think differently when I rewatch Reunion, because I've not actually seen that too much in quite a while. But yeah, American Pie I watched quite a lot as a kid. Kind of just easy comedies that the characters and everything you like most of the characters and everything like that. And it was just a film that I watched quite a lot when I was younger. The basic plot of this film is pretty, it's pretty basic, and it could have been handled really, really badly, and it could have been a film I detested, because a lot of films that deal with with virginity and stuff, you losing virginity and all that sort of stuff, and partying and everything, can films that really piss me off. Luckily, this handles it in a quite a warm and sincere way. For the most part, on paper, it's not that impressive. I wouldn't think it's of good taste really, but it is actually handled in quite a good way. Sincere, and it doesn't it's not manipulative or cold in any way like that, or offensive. And yeah, American Pie, everyone knows this film. Of course, the main plot is that these guys are trying to lose their virginity before a certain time and everything. And they're at high school in America, and basically it follows their lives over a short time, and she sees them in high school, and you kind of just it kind of just explores their friendship. And as well, Jim, of course, the main character, played by Jason Biggs. And just a great character, really well written. A relatable character. He's the kind of the innocent one, warm, lovable guy kind of thing. But really awkward and stuff. So there's a lot of great stuff that arises there. Really funny stuff. Of course, it is an ensemble piece. Seann William Scott, who plays Stifler. You've got him, and you've also got other characters, Oz, Kevin, who I don't really like too much. I don't think a lot of people do actually like Kevin, especially in the first. I think he's better in the other ones, but I find a lot of flaws with his character and his storyline. He's just not likable, and he's very annoying, and it's not a great performance. And his storyline is really actually the one that isn't handled too well in the way that they're trying to bring out this, losing virginity and stuff. It's whereas everyone else is actually quite warm and sincere, and it turns out kind of quite moving in its own way. His one is the one that I just never really liked. And Vicky, of course, his girlfriend, played by Reid. I don't like her as an actress really. She's not good in this film, and I hated her character. Just really just shallow stuff, and I just didn't get connected to any of that. It's really actually the stuff that I thought the film could have done all the way through is with their storyline. As well, Jessica, her friend, didn't like her. But the rest of the characters, I think, are actually really good, and I didn't really find any other bad characters. It has a lot of scenes of partying and stuff. And luckily, it's not handled in a way that is, annoying. It is quite sincere and quite warm and everything. And it's the scenes in the school as well are very, very nostalgic, I feel. And there's some really good comedy sequences, and slapstick and everything. Of course, you've got the famous scene where things happen on the internet, broadcasting. That's kind of a classic scene, really. Of course, the pie scene itself. I think some of my favourite parts actually are with Jim's dad, Eugene Levy. He plays a dad, and Jim, the kind of like the father-son relationship. It's kind of like Jim's dad is kind of like the warmest daddy, one of the warmest dads in cinema. Really loved him in the film. He's really good in all of them, really. And I just love that dynamic that goes on there. It's really quite touching and warm. It's not so much in the other ones, but you know, it's quite a lot throughout this film, and it's just so funny. You know, really, he's just Eugene Levy is just a really good comedy actor. Um, you know, he never goes too far in this film. It's always so you know, can control the humour, and really the writing throughout the film is really really good. You know, it is overall at times quite a cheesy film, but you know, in a kind of charming way. At times, you know, a little bit where it's a bit. I think actually with the Kevin and Vicky stuff, it's a bit awkward. You know, bit cringy, cheesy. But the rest of it is only really just charm. You know, adds to the charm, the actual cheesiness of it. I think my favourite sort of romance in the film, you know, storyline was the Heather and Oz one. I actually think that was really handled really well. You know, the way it develops. Yeah, it's a bit sort of basic at first, but it does actually develop into something that says quite a lot. You know, about identity and stuff, and you know, yeah, I really liked her character. You know, she's not kind of this person that just goes parties and everything, and drinks. She's kind of like a strong character. And you know, Oz is probably one of my favourite characters. Just really likable, you know, and I really love their kind of storyline in the film. As I've said, Kevin isn't great. His stuff, you know, Paul Finch is really good. I think is really unique character. You know, and this is the thing. This film has overall really good characters. You know, memorable. Quite stand out quite a lot from quite a lot of comedies, and you know, it's got some great comedy. It's got loads of charm. And you know, also, you know, in the end, it actually says quite a lot. You know, it is quite touching in its own way. But yeah, it just kind of it follows their lives until you know, kind of they graduate, kind of thing. And yeah, towards the end of the film, there's the prom scenes as well. You know, Michelle is in this film, the character. Of course, she's in like most of the other ones. I'm not a fan of her overall, but you know, she's only in this one a little bit. You know, and you know, she's probably at her best here. You know, it's quite a funny sequence, and yeah, it's quite ironic and stuff. In the second one, I didn't care for her really, that character. But yeah, no, overall, I think this, you know, definitely a really good comedy. It's not great, you know, it doesn't reach a level that really moves or anything like that. And it's not a great comedy, and of course, there are flaws that let it down. You know, and in terms of direction, you know, the actual filmmaking, you know, I feel that it's well directed. I think that you know it's quite safe in that sense, but it has got some quite good, you know, well put together shots, and you know, the editing is, as I say, it's safe, but it's clean. You know, it's fine. There's nothing bad here. You know, and I suppose most comedies like this is more about the writing and stuff. People don't, you know, directors and that, they didn't really, you know, there's not much emphasis on the actual, you know, sophistication of the filmmaking. So there's not really too much to comment there, other than it's good, it's decent. I think the cinematography is, I think, nostalgic really, more than anything. But yeah, no, it's fine. The flaws would be, of course, overall the flaws would be some of the characters. You know, some of the stuff that's handled, it's not handled too well with the Kevin stuff. And yeah, one or two of the pieces of comedy doesn't quite land. But overall, I think it's really well written for the most part. It's got a great sense of charm, you know, camaraderie between the group of characters. And it's a coming of age film that really just enjoyable and warm film to watch. Really funny, you know, the characters you care about. At least I did, and just some great comedy sequences. You know, I think American Pie is a really good film. You know, it's just into the 80% mark. You know, it's nothing special, I don't think. You know, but it's a very nostalgic film. You know, and it could be the best American Pie film. You know, I really like this film. It's kind of underrated at times, but yeah, no, I think it's quite a smartly written comedy for the most part, considering what the actual, you know, the actual on paper what the plot is. It could only go so far, I suppose, but they really managed to do a good job of pulling that off. You know, I wouldn't have expected it to. You know, you wouldn't expect a film like this really to be anything too good, but it is. You know, and very charming film, as I've said. Solid direction, cinematography, and stuff. The soundtrack as well, I think, is really good. you know, really, really nostalgic. And yeah, just some really good songs in there, really memorably used, you know, in the film. And yeah, I love the ending as well. You know, it's really funny. Eugene Levy is really one of the stars of the show here. You know, he's just great. And yeah, American Pie, definitely recommend it if you've not seen it. And if you have, yeah, discussion in the comments. Really like this film. Used to watch it a lot as a kid, and yeah, it's still, you know, it's not a film that I watch as a kid and then I realised it's just not that good. No, it is a really good film actually. Just nothing great, you know, nothing, nothing that will blow you away, kind of thing. I don't think, but yeah, it's a really good film. I feel funny, you know, good characters, really good characters actually, and yeah, just very very entertaining and well crafted film. So yes, thanks for watching my review of American Pie. Next up will be the second American Pie, of course, which you know, it's not as good as this one. But yes, we'll be reviewing that next. So yes, thanks for watching my review of American Pie.